So I started off this workout with, I believe, 5 sets of 15 for these seated military press. Um, after this fifth set, I followed it with a drop set with as many as possible, going from 30s down to 15s, I believe. I've done long sets in or long rest intervals in the past with standing barbell, but this just makes this just gives me more growth. I feel, and it gives me that burn that I need, and I love it. So this is the third set, I believe, and then it'll come a drop set where I go from 30s to 25s, and then 25s to 20s, and then I went down to 15s, I believe, and all of those were for as many as possible, um, and those were absolutely killer. Next, I believe I hit 3 sets of 15 with lateral raises, and this was a superset. This was supersetted with upright rows. I believe this was either 3 sets of 12 to 15. So I had about 30-second rest intervals in between the two exercises. But I immediately went between each one of them. So between each set, I would have about 30 seconds, and it was absolutely killing me. Um, I really felt the burn in my lateral delts, and that's just a weakness of mine that I know I need to work on, is my lateral delts. I actually right now potentially have a torn labrum, so that's definitely something I need to work on strengthening the muscles around it. But these were just destroying me, really giving me that chest vein. And here we'll show a back view of of the upright rows, and I just love this angle view, really showing the traps and the rear delts being activated. All right, next came another superset, if you could have guessed it. I just really enjoy these supersets. The low rest time, just giving my shoulders that massive pump that they need, because I just know that's what my body thrives off of. So I hit, I believe, 3 sets of 12 to 15 on front raises, followed by another 3 sets of, I think, 15 on shrugs, and I only had I believe 15s in my hands on these front raises, and then I had 40s for the shrugs. Obviously, I could go a lot heavier on the shrugs. I just like getting that peak and really being able to feel it. See, here's a back angle, and I love just being able to get that squeeze. And I like feeling the activation rather than just being able to muscle it up all the time with, like, say, 90s. Now, if you haven't tried supersets at all during your career in lifting, I'd most definitely recommend them. Like I've said, they absolutely destroy you, and I think they're a great tool to utilize when you're lifting, just to exhaust the muscle. Then I proceeded to do 3 sets of 15 for these seated rear delt raises. I had some really light weight. I think I had 15s. I really got the squeeze in the rear delts and really felt the contraction. It's kind of like if you've ever got one of those pec deck machines. Those are amazing. I just did dumbbell here. But whenever I go to the gym, I'll typically just get on the pec deck machine and do reverse rear delt flies. Those are great. Or I sometimes get the cables, and the cables are great. I have to go like 5 pounds on those. I saw that I had some pretty good lighting, so I started doing a couple of these poses. And here's a back pose. I think my back's probably the most developed of all my muscle parts, and then the thing that I you know get most of my pride from. So there's a lot of width in my back, and something I guess just genetics gave me, and um, I've just loved doing back. Here's a pose. I loved being able to see the vein in the shoulder, um, and being able to get some of the oblique action. Right now, I'm kind of in a lean bulk, so I'm happy to still be able to see some obliques. That's pretty much what I consider if you're lean, I pretty much consider the ability to see obliques. And then um, you know, here's a good front pose with the abs and the traps and the shoulders and biceps. I always like doing some of these. They always being able to get that full muscle activation. I love it. So that wrapped up the workout. And so what I ran through next was just a bunch of my favorite poses that I love to hit. And while these poses run through, I pretty much like to introduce myself. My name is Jeremy Portillo. I'm a 17-year-old natural, I guess, power builder, you would say. My senior year in high school, I did my junior and senior year in high school, I did powerlifting. Um, and when I was a freshman, I started on these Beachbody programs, P90X, Insanity. but the number one thing that I did was Body Beast, and that's what pretty much got me my base. And that was in my transformation video. Was the first segment. The first two pictures that were in there were me from my very first start in 2013, and then 3 months later, and then sophomore year I did P90X2, and that's where I kind of got interested in kinesiology, and I got interested in the body, and I fell in love with it, and all the cool mechanisms that can go on in the human body. I just absolutely fell in love with it. I found out about P3, Peak Performance Project out in Santa Monica, and I just truly fell in love with fitness in my sophomore year. Junior year, I was looking for something to do, and I knew I loved fitness, so that's why I joined my local powerlifting team at my high school. We actually ended up taking state, and I placed fourth in the 148 weight class. I did terrible, absolutely terrible. But then came senior year where I went up to the 165 weight class, and I actually ended up taking first in the powerlifting state. I actually swept all my meets that year and took first place in all three. No, it wasn't USAPL, and no, it wasn't extreme competition, but getting first at state was a pretty good confidence booster for me because I knew it was something that I worked hard for. My total ended up being 1095, which wasn't very good because I'm just not good at maxing out. I'm really not good at maxing out. I'm good more at top sets. So I would hit 450 for 2 sets at 3 on deadlift, but then I couldn't budge 480 off the ground, even though I was projected to get the record at my high school. But I got a 245 pause bench, 255 all-time PR on deadlift, and a 400-pound squat. So that's pretty much where my fitness is right now, and I just want to be able to get myself out there and be able to show others that this is possible. Coming from a freshman, I was absolutely tiny and I knew nothing about health and fitness. I knew nothing about nutrition. I was ignorant, honestly. And to think that now I'm actually going to school for kinesiology right now, and to think that I've come this far from, I guess, essentially ignorance to bliss with the subject. I absolutely love it. And the reason I love bodybuilding is because I can see the body changing, and I can look at its structure, and I can see the muscles that tighten up when you flex, and I can see all the mechanisms working. And I think about it all the time. I think about how much force I could possibly get off the ground during a deadlift. I would love to set up a photo gate and get the velocity of my deadlifts off the ground. I absolutely love this stuff so much, and I just want to be able to get it out there that don't be scared of following what you love, because I've been blessed with the opportunities that I've had. And once again, I just want to be able to show people that it's possible. Follow what you love, and I've gotten so many people, doubt me, say don't do kinesiology, don't go do kinesiology, go the biology route. That's the safe route for what you want to do. That's the safe route because I ultimately want to be able to teach, whether it be biomechanics, chemistry, or anatomy. Anatomy right now is probably my number one thing that I want to teach, and I want to get my PhD, and I want to be able to teach at a university. And people keep on telling me, go the biology route, go the chemistry route, and I just don't want to. It's not what I love, and I don't want to conform. I want to love what I'm studying, and kinesiology is where it's at, and I don't want to fall into that conformity. And I just want to get that out there that you don't have to conform. You don't have to do everything that everybody else wants you to do. Love your life and grip the opportunities that you have. And I love fitness, and I know it sounds like a meathead thing to do, but I love it, and it's completely changed my life. And I love it. I truly do. It's my passion. I just want to get that out there. So if there's anybody out there that just wants to make a change in their life, whether it be starting to count macros, or whether it be wanting to lose 10 pounds for a wedding, or whatever it may be, set those goals in your mind, and you have absolutely no idea what you were going to pick up along the way. Because I had no idea starting freshman year that I was going to wind up studying the human body. I had no idea. I was basically just doing it. I was doing it for swimming. I was putting on muscle for swimming, And then I ultimately ended up quitting swimming and joining the powerlifting team and winning an individual state championship and taking my team as a captain to the Kentucky State Championships and sweeping it. And it's just incredible the journey and what you can accomplish. So don't be scared. Follow what you love and wake up every single day with a smile on your face. Thank you for listening. I'll see you guys next time. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe.